Hello, everybody, and I am popping in to give you my thoughts on the Golden Globe winners, which were last night. Now, I know it has been a while. I have been super busy this past week. I did actually record a video with my reactions to the BAFTA shortlists, but I ended up not posting that, mostly because I was busy and partially because there weren't that many huge shockers in that shortlist. But I do want to real quick talk about my thoughts on the Golden Globe winners, as well as just my general thoughts on where awards season is going. This is probably going to be a pretty quick video. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to start with Best Picture and work my way down, and hopefully you'll see why when I get there. But Best Picture Comedy Musical went to one battle after another, which I think we all saw coming. What some of us maybe did not see coming was Best Picture Drama going to Hamnet. So here's the thing about this. If you look at the Best Picture precursors this season with critics, Sinners is the very clear runner-up to One Battle. And conventional logic would suggest that Sinners would win Best Picture Drama, seeing how it's not competing against One Battle. But I knew that darn Best Box Office Achievement category was going to be a real thorn in Sinners' side this year. Just like we saw with Wicked and Barbie, the existence of this box office category just offers a convenient excuse to reward a movie elsewhere when it could have been a potential spoiler to win Best Picture, the main category. And that did not happen. And Sinners really could have used this because otherwise, One Battle is just going to cakewalk its way towards a Best Picture victory. But I wanted to have faith that there was a chance Sinners could pull a Moonlight. And in order for it to do that, it would need to take at least one major televised win this season. And it could still win SAG Ensemble. I'm not ruling that out just yet. But it is tough. And I think Sinners losing this did potentially hurt that film's chances, because it did win the box office prize, but I really don't think that award means anything. That's just a consolation prize. Best Director, as expected, went to PTA. Best Actress in a Drama went to Jessie Buckley, as many people expected. She's definitely going to coming for that Oscar. I think she's the most secure acting category this year. Best Actress in a Comedy Musical went to Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which I still really protest calling that film a comedy, but if it gets Byrne one televised precursor, that's something. I don't think she's going to prove a serious threat to Buckley, but at least she got something this season. Best Actor in a Comedy went to Timothée Chalamet, and I do believe he is the frontrunner for the Oscar. I think his speeches between Tonight and Critics' Choice, he really wants it. And some might think he wants it a bit too much, but I don't think there is a clear alternative. If either Ethan Hawke or Leo DiCaprio had won Tonight, that would have potentially put a wrench in Timmy's plans to win an Oscar. But I do think that Timmy is going to win. And Best Actor in a Drama went to Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, as many people predicted, following in the footsteps of Fernando Torres last year. I think he's probably going to get the Oscar nomination now, and he did really need this after missing the BAFTA shortlist nomination. So, good day for Wagner Moura. Now, the two supporting categories diverged from what we saw at Critics' Choice. Best Supporting Actor went to Stellan Skarsgård, which he definitely needed this after missing SAG entirely. And I think Skarsgård, I currently have him predicted to win, but I don't think we're out of the woods yet. We'll see who wins at SAG. I do think Skarsgård is probably going to repeat at BAFTA, though, and hopefully should have the momentum he needs to carry him to an Oscar victory. Supporting Actress went to Tiana Taylor, and let me tell you, I cheered that it was not Amy Madigan. I'm sorry to be mean, but I am just so grateful that someone finally put a stop to Amy Madigan's dominance in this category. And I do think Tiana Taylor gave a very good speech, and I think because her movie is the Best Picture frontrunner, she is in a really good place to ultimately win the Oscar. The award for Best Screenplay went to One Battle After Another as well, which not everybody was predicting. Usually at the Golden Globes, the movie that wins screenplay and the movie that wins director are not the same. Usually they like to spread the wealth a little bit, which really does show what a golden position Paul Thomas Anderson is in this year. And I think I was predicting Sinners to take this, with my mind potentially on it was just an accident to pull an Anatomy of a Fall, but that did not happen, and Sinners did not win here. The only award that Sinners did win tonight was the box office prize, at least that was televised, because Sinners also won Best Original Score, which was not televised. This made me so upset because it wasn't announced ahead of time. I was just waiting, like, why have they not announced Best Original Score yet? It's really late into the ceremony, and I found out that it was during a commercial break, which was so... I cannot believe that they did that. It was so disrespectful. It would have been so nice to see Ludwig Göransson win. Is it just because they wanted to have that Best Podcast category? They just wanted to give Amy Poehler their flowers? And also, it was weird that they had people giving us the live stats on who the predicted frontrunners are. Like, that's not something that the Golden Globe viewing audience necessarily needs to know. Okay, outside of that, score went to Sinners, song went to Golden as expected, and now the song has both Golden Globe and Critics' Choice, should easily win the Oscar now. Animated feature also went to K-pop Demon Hunters, which I don't really think was a surprise. There's been talk in the past that K-pop could go the same way as Wild Robot and Spider-Verse, being the populist frontrunner that gets taken down by something more indie, but neither Arco nor Little Amelie have the passion they would need to take down K-pop. So even though one of them is probably going to win the BAFTA, K-pop should still be good to take the Oscar. And then the last category I want to talk about is actually the most frustrating category for me, which was Best International Feature going to The Secret Agent, not It Was Just an Accident. Now, I say frustrating not because Secret Agent is an unworthy winner, but because It Was Just an Accident is so darn good. It is my pick for the best movie of 2025, and I thought surely it would take this, but now it has lost to International Feature at both Golden Globes and Critics' Choice. And the question is, A, what's going to win International Feature, which is a really interesting question, which it normally isn't, but maybe the most interesting question out of all of that, we won't know what's winning International Feature until we know which of the Neon titles is getting into Best Picture. So this is something that I do want to talk about because you didn't get a video for the BAFTA long list and you didn't get a video for the PGA list. So I'm looking at Best Picture right now, and I'm kind of struggling to fill out the 10. I'm like, okay, One Battle, Sinners, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, that's top 4. I think Frankenstein is number 5 at this point after the SAG nomination. I think let's put Sentimental Value at 6. That seems to be Neon's strongest contender. Let's put Begonia at 7, which does feel weird, but that movie has just not missed anywhere. And let's put Train Dreams at 8, even though it missed Globe and BAFTA. It's gotten almost everything, and it does seem to be an overall really strong contender with critics. And so that leaves 2 slots, and in my opinion, there are 5 movies that are trying to fit into those 2 slots. And the first 2 are from Neon. We have It Was Just an Accident and The Secret Agent. Now, it is crazy to me that we are even having this conversation because for the longest time, I thought It Was Just an Accident was safe. Like, surely it's the Cannes Palme d'Or winner. It's a phenomenal film and it has an amazing narrative behind it. Surely it's safe, right? And maybe it's not because it just keeps missing in all these places. And we thought for a while, well, this guild just doesn't like international films. But even BAFTA didn't have it in their long list, and now it lost International Feature at both Critics' Choice and Golden Globes. And what are we supposed to take away from that? Like, is it safe for picture? Is Jafar Panahi safe for director? I really thought he was. Is it safe for screenplay? Maybe it just gets Screenplay International. I don't want to think that can happen. Is Secret Agent safe? Because Secret Agent did not do well at BAFTA either. It really just got this boost from the HFPA, and let's remind ourselves that HFPA, a lot of South American voters. Perhaps it's a bit skewed there. Should we immediately put it into picture? But Wagner Morris seems likely for actor, so do we put it along with that? Are we just assuming that Secret Agent is going to get into picture because of the success of I'm Still Here last year? I don't know. It's really, really hard to tell because I feel like at least we're getting at least 2 neons in international. I think sentimental value is happening, and then either it was just an accident or secret agent. So the 9th slot is going to be a neon title, and then the last slot is either going to be a 3rd neon or a 3rd Warner Brothers. Because at PGA, they nominated both F1 and Weapons. And now, do we have to consider either one of these movies to be a Best Picture contender? F1 is doing well below the line in craft categories. It didn't get into Critics' Choice or Astra, I believe, but we know that F1 is getting into visual effects, sound, and it's looking more and more likely it's going to get editing. And if it gets picture, it could also get cinematography, score along with it. That package does make a certain amount of sense, just Best Picture and text. At the same time, Weapons also could have a package. For the longest time, I was thinking that that was just going to be supporting actress, but if it gets into picture, now I'm starting to wonder, is screenplay on the table if it gets into picture? Probably. And this is the real kicker. This kind of made me upset, but I have really been struggling to figure out what gets that 5th slot for best editing. And if Weapons is in picture, there's your answer. And it solves that problem nicely. I couldn't figure out if I wanted to say neatly or nicely, and I said them both. I am tired. But, okay, so could F1 or Weapons get in? F1, for the longest time, I thought no, because it doesn't really have a deeper meaning. It's just a racing movie without much inner emotion to it. But maybe it's just guys being dudes, and maybe there are enough dads that are Oscar voters that are going to want to reward it. Weapons, you could argue, has more passion behind it, but at the same time, there are more people that are a little bit weirded out by that movie. And yes, we have seen the Oscars make room for weird movies in Best Picture, but if Begonia is in, then that takes up that slot. And are we really going to have Weapons? I don't know, because does Weapons have a deeper meaning? You can argue it does. You can argue it's a metaphor for school shootings, but Zach Cregger has been very back and forth about whether he wants you to consider that. So I really don't know. But then, if it's not Neon in that last slot, and if it's not Warner Brothers in that last slot, Sony Pictures Classics has the wild card entry with Blue Moon, the movie that did get a Golden Globe nomination, the movie that we know is a lock for Best Actor, and Sony Pictures Classics has proven time and time again they are not to be underestimated. So I really would consider Blue Moon to get that surprise 10th slot in Best Picture. Though if it did happen, I could see it also getting screenplay. Screenplay is tricky because is that last slot going to Weapons or Blue Moon or maybe Sorry Baby? I did love that Julia Roberts shouted out to everyone that they needed to see Sorry Baby tonight. So I don't know. I really, really don't know. And this is probably going to be the last video you get from me until final Oscar predictions, which are coming fairly soon. I have been really busy directing a play, so I may not be able to keep up with the content, but I'm going to really, really try to get final Oscar predictions in at least a day or so before the nominations. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.